Hello and welcome, Oisashi. How are you doing? It's been a long time, especially on this channel. I'm putting this on the Taisha Jason channel because that's where I used to put all my media stuff, Blu Ray reviews, movie reviews, etc. So I'm going to start doing a few of these from time to time, and I want to put them back on that channel, just separate them from my main channel, my Argonauts. So thank you for clicking, if you did, on this video from a link on like the Facebook page or something, or the Twitter, and you followed it here to this video. And I'm assuming you're clicking on this because, like me, and like my wall here with all the albums, you can't quite see all of them, you're a big Beatles fan. And funnily enough, I thought, you know, maybe I should put on a t-shirt for, for this vlog. And I don't have a Beatles t-shirt. I don't know why. I just don't. I need to get one, I guess. I have lots of Star Wars and Sumo and Marvel and all kinds of other t-shirts like this one. This one's a Star Wars one, kind of a Japanese Star Wars one. But I don't have a Beatles t-shirt, so there you go. Something missing from my collection. But in the past couple years, 2015, 2016, into this year, the 30th, 40th, 50th anniversary of Sgt Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, I have been obsessively buying just everything they've been putting out officially from Apple. You know, this Apple, not Apple, the Steve Jobs Apple, to do with the Beatles. And sometimes I buy the Japanese version, and sometimes I buy the American version. And so I just thought, if you're a Beatles fan and you haven't bought some of these items, you might be interested to see what's in them, what you get. And so here we go. I've got 4 things to show you today. DVDs, Blu Rays, CDs, etc. So let's just jump right in. So probably starting chronologically from like 2 years ago or so was this big box. So this was the Beatles. There's the light source is better over there. The U.S. albums. Now, a lot of you are like, yeah, Jason, I saw this. Wasn't that interested. Why did you buy it, for instance? You have all the albums already, of course. I bought the Japanese version. And the main reason I bought the Japanese version is that I was teaching a class at university at the time about the Beatles. And in this box set, and I just want to see if it has, yeah, it has the price here of 3 mon. It's really small. It's not gonna focus. But that's like about $300 is the retail of this. I bought on Amazon for about that because I wanted it the day it came out. And the main reason I bought it is because in the box set, you get some nifty little books. This one is all about them, and it is in English, even though I bought the Japanese box set. And it has breakdowns of every single album, what the songs are, you know, replications of the covers, some of the single labels, pictures, etc. So nice little booklet, and I'm assuming it's the exact same booklet you would have gotten in the American edition because all the text is in English. In addition to that, though, in this box set, you get this, which is the US box, Beatles 50th anniversary, and there's a lot of just timelines and concert schedules and recording schedules, and this is all in Japanese. And I can't actually read Japanese that well. I still struggle with a lot of kanji. It transliterates all the songs from English into katakana. Some of the songs are simply different words. Like, here's Think for Yourself. I mean, you're not going to be able to see this, but they actually kind of come up with a Japanese meaning of Think for Yourself. So it's not always just the night before, the night before. You know, it's not just always a straight, you know, obviously yesterday, it would be kino. You know, yesterday is kino. But I'm looking through you there's a Japanese phrase for that. So they sometimes do that. Anyway, so it's got all that, and then in the back, and a big drawing point for me because I was teaching the class is every song included in the box set, and this is not every Beatles song, as I'll get to in a minute, has the English lyrics and the Japanese lyrics. And I was teaching the class, and we were obviously discussing some of the songs and the lyrical content, especially as the band matured. And I felt, well, this is a great resource because some of the translations on the net are wiki-wacky, and I didn't have any other book at the time that had that information in it. So I thought, well, this is kind of worth the price of admission alone, this cool book. And since then, I found out there is just a book which a nice lady made, which is every Beatles song, all 200 plus, translated into Japanese, and it's not that hard to get. But that's fine. This, obviously, I keep with the set, and I'm actually teaching the course again now at my high school to a select history class. So I've used this set again to show them some of the differences between the American discs and the British discs. One of the discs it has in here that you don't find anywhere else is the Hey Jude album, which is an album that they put out in America only, or at least I only know of it in America. They might have put it out in Denmark, I don't know. So, if you're only a casual Beatles fan, you may not know that some of their songs were singles only. Hey Jude is not on a Beatles album. It's not on the White Album. It's not on Abbey Road. It was just a single. And so what they did when they pressed the CDs in the late 80s is they made two albums called the Past Masters. And they have, Past Masters Volume 1, which is kind of 62 to 66. And then they have Past Masters Volume 2, which is like 67 to 70. And so Hey Jude is on that. But, obviously the single was so successful, the most popular Beatles single of all time in terms of sales, that they put out this album in America, and it has Revolution, Paperback Writer, I Should Have Known Better, Lady Madonna. It also has Can't Buy Me Love on it, which I don't get, Don't Let Me Down, Ballad of John and Yoko, Rain, and Old Brown Shoe. So a lot of the other singles that are on Past Masters are on this album. And great later day picture of the band. Everything else is the same in the sense of, all the American albums. The only two albums that are actually kind of similar looking to the British counterparts are Rubber Soul and Revolver, but they have drastically different song choices. And to the extent that I actually kind of like this Rubber Soul almost better than the British version. And we can talk about that just because of the way they were able to splice together all their kind of folky songs onto one album. And it doesn't start with Drive My Car. It starts with I've Just Seen a Face, then it goes into Nowhere Man, You Won't See Me, Think for Yourself. You can look this up on the net, but it just makes for a really enjoyable album. This is one of the few that I actually take out of here from time to time, and I will listen to for the sequencing. And then before those two albums, they're just wacky. The Help album from America has only 7 Beatles songs on it. The others are all instrumental, like George Martin, instrumental music from the film. And then everything else, well, except Hard Day's Night, they're just made up. This is the famous Butcher cover. If I were to open the seal here, on the inside, you get to see the famous Butcher cover, and then they give you the sticker they ended up putting over it. The album called Yesterday and Today. This is where you would have gotten Drive My Car, for instance. I'm Only Sleeping, Nowhere Man, Dr. Robert. Yesterday is on here instead of Help. Meet the Beatles, obviously aping the With the Beatles cover, but a slightly different section. So this was the first album that you could buy in America, put out by Capitol Records, their eventual major label in America. They had a few independent things that were released, singles, etc. And this, of course, has all the big songs that made them so famous in that Beatlemania time of 1964. I Want to Hold Your Hand, I Saw Her Standing There, This Boy, It Won't Be Long. And, the Beatles' second album, so they're all different titles. Hard Day's Night again, some Beatles songs, some instrumental music. United Artists, the movie company in America, the main reason they funded the movie is because they wanted the soundtrack album. They knew they could put out a soundtrack album, and that would sell even if the movie was a disaster. Well, the movie, of course, was extremely popular. It's a fantastic film. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend it. Something new. You know, these are just all the ones you get. You get this thing called the Beatles Story, where they're like talking, and it's got a gatefold jacket, which is kind of nice. The Beatles 65 with the umbrellas. I love that shot. They put out this later on called the Early Beatles. They kind of went back. Oh, where are all the ones we forgot? These weren't in order. Sorry, Beatles 4. So that all comes in the U.S. albums. The other interesting thing about the U.S. albums, if you're a fan, is that every single disc is the mono version of the album, which is how most of these came out, and then the stereo mix. So if you've ever thought about wanting to invest money in the mono box set, you can really buy this set, and it does it for you, except for, so it's like, okay, well, the albums that aren't in here are Sgt Pepper, Magical Mystery Tour, White Album, Abbey Road, Let It Be, so, and Yellow Submarine if you count that. So, you know, it's a great way to hear the mono tracks and see if maybe you then, you know, feel like you need to spend the extra on the mono box. That's the only box I don't have is the mono box because I have this instead. So that was a nice perk. Okay, then probably the next thing they released is this, the one set, and I got the deluxe version. This I got from America, so this is not a Japanese version. And wonderful booklet bound into the DVD Blu Ray cover. Just pages of information about the Beatles and each song. And this is, of course, all the videos that they ever made, plus a lot of unreleased stuff that Apple brought out from the vaults. And then, you know, all the #1 songs, like a corresponding concert clip or video or something to go along with that song, the bonus disc, and then a CD, the actual one album, which a lot of people already own. I didn't buy it because I didn't need to buy it when it came out, but I bought it as a gift for a lot of people to give to people to help them, you know, experience the Beatles again or get back in. So yeah, so just a lot of great stuff on here, and you can buy it in different iterations. Of course, I'm in America, I'm in Japan, but I might one day move back to America, so I bought the Blu Ray version because Japan shares a Blu Ray region with America, and there's 27 songs on the Blu Ray, and then the other Blu Ray has 23 songs, all the kind of like odd bonus features, various editions of Day Tripper, Rain, multiple editions of Hello Goodbye, and then the really new stuff they did for the anthology like Free as a Bird and Real Love. So this is something like when I'm cleaning the house. You know, I have a really nice TV over here. You can't see it. And I'll pop this in, and it's a good, you know, hour and a half of just fantastic Beatles songs as I'm vacuuming and dusting and whatnot. So I really enjoy this set a lot. I've lent it out to a lot of people to let them see what they were like. Because you got to see the Beatles live. You know, you got to see the Beatles live. You got to see them performing, etc., to really get a sense of the band. And that's, I think, the whole reason. I'm sorry, it's a little warm in my house today. That's the whole reason I think Ron Howard wanted to make this whole documentary, which is the next set I have, which is the 8 Days a Week Touring Years documentary. Hopefully you were able to see it. I was able to see it at a theater. One of the bonuses you get, this is, again, as you can tell from that shrink wrap, I bought this as the Japan version. There were many different versions. Some came with a t-shirt, etc. Of course, not my size. One of the things you get if you bought the Japanese version, I think it was only in the Japanese version, but somebody can, yeah, it's got to be because there's Japanese in here. A complete tour list. So every tour, where they went, on what day, and what the set list was at that time, because they didn't alter it a lot. So in November they were on a UK tour, and their set list, you know, started with I Saw Her Standing There and ended with Twist and Shout, and then From Me to You. and then it goes on, 1964, 1965, and then of course they stopped touring in 1966. So that's a little bonus booklet you get in there. The other main thing is this kind of nice kind of multi-fold thing that opens up like this. And then, oddly enough, they didn't really do anything with this part because the 2 discs that are part of the set are kind of in this hinge thing. Ooh, sorry, that's right, I got the 3-disc set. I didn't even remember that. So 2 on that back-to-back thing, and then 1 in here. And then another booklet, and this booklet is all in Japanese. So it's the same booklet you probably get if you buy the American Deluxe version, but everything's in Nihongo. Also, because I bought it like right when it came out, I got a poster and a still photograph that I put up on my wall, and I don't know, that kind of stuff might sell out. But I did get it through Amazon. So what I got is I got the international edition, and all it really is, guys, is it's the Blu Ray. Of course, again, I got Blu Ray. There's special features, which are kind of nice. There's some good special features, and then 2 versions of the film. One's called the international version, and the other one just doesn't say anything. So the only difference is the domestic Japan version has like an extra 4 minutes where they interview a guy about when the Beatles came to Tokyo, and they include the whole interview in the Japan version, and I guess they cut it down to maybe just like a minute in the regular version. So it's really not a big deal. The difference between the 2 discs of the film are very, very minimal. But you do get a 110-minute, almost a 2-hour Blu-ray of extras if you get the bigger set. So I really enjoyed this. I highly recommend it. This was probably about $80 maybe, I think, when I got it. Yeah, about 9,000 yen or so. Okay, and then the last one is the big, huge Sgt Pepper box. Now, I showed this book in another video. So this is the book you get. And just huge. I mean, I can't even, it's like an album if you're old enough like me to remember albums, with lots of essays, fantastic pictures of the band, full text essays, etc. And I didn't realize at the time when I bought it that it came like this. So this is the box. This is kind of holographic. You're not really going to get the effect on here, but it's kind of got that texture on it. And it looks like this, and then on the back it explains what you get. 4 audio CDs, a Blu-ray, and a DVD. So there's 6 discs in here. I got that version. So if you open this kind of slip cover, you get what they used to, this is what tapes used to look like, the reel-to-reel tapes they would record on. It has some printing on it, as if it were a real tape that would be sitting on the shelves at Abbey Road. And then you open it. Yeah. Okay. And then the inside would be the book. And then this cool thing that looks kind of like, hey, did I order the vinyl? Why do I have the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's the album? And it's an exact replica of the album, all the lyrics on the back. They were one of the first bands to do that. And you open it up, and this is actually where all the discs are. So the 4 CDs are on this side, and the Blu-ray and the DVD are on this side, and then explanation of everything you get. CD1 is the album, remastered, a new stereo mix. CD2 and CD3 are basically outtakes, and CD4 is the mono album and bonus tracks. Penny Lane, Strawberry Fields, and some other mixes of some other things. Because I guess one of the few George Martin regrets that he has is that he didn't include Sgt. Pepper, Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane on the album. And again, those are, singles, but then they went ahead and when they assembled the Magical Mystery Tour album, they put them on that album. So then you get a DVD That's the making of Sgt. Pepper. That's the thing that nobody's ever seen before. It's about an hour and 10 minutes long, 70 minutes. Pretty good. You get some of the promotional films they made. And then the Blu Ray is a Blu Ray version. There's like Blu Ray audio. So it's a Blu Ray audio version of the album if you're into that. And some other, like the video for Strawberry Field, the video for Penny Lane, which are on that #1 box that some of that stuff I'd seen before. So if you're into, like, if you have a really awesome setup and you have Blu-ray audio. So that's all in this. And then also in the box you get the famous poster that inspired Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite and all the stuff. Pablo Franks. Okay. So you can put that up if you wanted to take it out of your box set. And then you get another poster about Sgt. Pepper. Folds out pretty nicely. And you get the inserts that you would have gotten in the original album, like the mustache. And if you're familiar with the original album, this would have been included inside the album. And it was just kind of fun stuff that they were doing because they were the Beatles and they could. So the real takeaway from that is the album sounds amazing. You get a mono version. You get to hear all these awesome alternate takes of things, how songs formed, and all of it is, how should I say, some of it is unreleased, never before released, like it wasn't on the anthology and stuff. So, and then of course this amazing book, which I've only gotten through about a third of it so far. It's got a lot of interesting detail and stuff. So if you're an obsessive about this particular album or just the Beatles in general, this was expensive. This was, I want to say, about $150, and then shipping, because I bought that from America. So yeah, you know, there's different versions you can get if you're just interested in other versions. But those are 4 of the box sets that I've spent some of my money on in the past couple years to keep up with the Beatles, and I just love the band so much, and I'm waiting for the new book to come out. There's a 3-book series, and I'm gonna forget the guy's name. I want to say his first name is Tim. There's a Monty Python joke there waiting to happen, but I won't do it. But yeah, anyway, so he's putting a Tune In, I think is the first volume, and then there should be a second and a third, so I'm waiting to read that. And I just gobble up everything about the band that I can get my hands on. So hopefully you enjoyed that. If you have any questions about any of the stuff that you saw, any of the 4 box sets, go ahead and leave a comment. I'll try to put some links in the description perhaps. But you know, you can just go on Amazon and find all this stuff, and then other, eBay probably now, a lot of it you could probably, where people just ripped it and and are selling it used at a good price. But if you have any questions about any of the stuff, feel free to ask. And I'm hopefully going to do my next one is going to be about some REM and U2 box sets I bought recently, because I'm old and I still buy CDs. So, but anyway, if you watch to this point, you're probably a CD enthusiast like myself. So thank you for watching all the way to the end. I hope this uploads to my channel because it's over 23 minutes long. And I will be back hopefully in the next week with another one of these CD box set reviews. Okay, peace. Thanks for watching, guys.